Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt Knost and Drew Stoltz. And if you're watching, you can tell I'm not in the studio with the Sleaze Man. I've made it all the way across the world to Australia. Sleaze feeling fresh as can be.
How was it, bud? That's a big boy journey right there. What'd we do on the flight?
Well, I got a few things for you. So I flew from Vegas Sunday night at 7 p.m. Got delayed on the runway for a while, of course. I mean, when you have a ridiculously long trip, why would things not slow down even more? But ended up getting to San Fran on time. 14-hour flight plus a few. Buddy, after 5 days, 4 nights in Vegas, it was no problem. I slept 12 of the 14 hours. I asked everybody on Twitter for some recommendations about what I should watch. I watched one episode of The Morning Show, the current season, because I'm up to date on that. And I watched one episode of season 2, Winning Time. Other than that, I was asleep the entire time.
12-hour sesh. I'm proud of you, bud. How's that feel? That's nice, isn't it? Little 12-piece? Little 12-piece don't hurt nothing.
I fell asleep before we took off. I woke up, and it said we had like 4.5 hours left. I'm like, oh, my God, this is beautiful. Woke up, watched an episode, fell right back asleep. Woke up, had some breakfast. We were on the ground.
See, dude, big compliment to you. That's brilliant planning ahead. You go to Vegas, kill yourself for a handful of days before you ever have to take one of these crazy international flights. Boom, the thing goes by like that. That's smart. That's smart thinking, bud. Props. Tip of the cap. Have you flushed a toilet yet?
I have, and I just start laughing because I'm like,
it goes opposite way.
I think he thinks they go the wrong direction, but I don't know which way they go at home. So I'm just going to say you're right.
I actually don't even know which way they flush here. I've just heard people talk about, dude, the toilet's flushed opposite way. I was like, no shit, that's incredible. So, all right.
I love that. That's what you're fascinated about.
Yeah, I think I belong in Australia. How is it? You picked up any new slang for me down there? I love the Australian people a lot.
Well, I got off the airplane, immediately thought there was a million of you running around because your accent is just so on point.
Thank you.
And I think we all would have lost this bet. I've been here for about 2 hours now, and not one person has thought I was Adam Scott. Can't believe it hadn't happened yet.
That is strange. Give it time. Wait till you get to the golf course.
Yeah,
they'll be falling all over themselves.
I had a hoodie on and my hat was pulled down, so they were probably just a little confused.
Low profile. Yeah, you just trim the beard just a slight bit. Well, if you swing a golf club, I mean, fuck, it's over, dude. They'll know it. They'll know at that point.
100%.
Speaking of Australia. Go ahead.
Real quick, though, before the trip was made much easier because, we always look great on the course with our Polo Ralph Lauren gear. But even on the plane, I wore one of the workout shirts, so comfy. I think that's what made me sleep so well.
Yeah, dude, workout / plane / lounge / anything. That thing's versatile, just like our golf games. And the RLX Golf collection draws inspiration from the traditional aesthetic of polo, updating it to create a modern sensibility focused on performance-driven design. From sophisticated styles to the most technologically advanced fabrics available, RLX Golf is the ultimate in functional luxury and provides pieces that are ready for whatever the conditions bring, on or off the course. Ralph Lauren is the official outfitter of the United States Ryder Cup team and partner of the AJGA. Ralph Lauren is proud to continue its sponsorship of golf ambassadors Andrea Lee, Billy Horschel, Davis Love III, Devin Bling, Doc Redmond, Jonathan Bird, Nick Watney, Sean Foley, Smiley Kaufman, Todd Anderson, Tom Watson, Trevor Werblow, Troy Taylor III, Tyler Strafacci, and Zach Johnson. The RLX Golf collection is available in select Ralph Lauren stores, exclusive private clubs and resorts, and online at ralphlauren.com. Go get yourself something nice. Glad you were comfortable on that flight. Speaking of Australia, as I was saying, shout out to Colin Morikawa for the win over at the Zozo, 6-shot victory over our guy Bo Hostler. Very well done by Colin. He looked incredible over there. But, sidebar, important story coming out of that tournament. Australia's very own Minwoo Lee finished T6. He's officially a member of the PGA Tour for 2024. Great news for everybody. This kid is going to be a star. I love him. We got to get him. He's my new white whale for Subpar. We got to have him on soon.
All right. He'll be over in America a lot more chances for you to find him, hump his leg, all that.
I'll do it.
Congratulations to Minwoo Lee. Colin Morikawa put on a clinic. What a final round that was. Pick up his first win since he won the Open Championship. I'll be honest, I was in Vegas. Didn't get to see a whole lot. I was focused on my own golf game with my man Ben Lamb, but very happy for Colin. A well-deserved win.
How'd we do in Vegas? Quick summary.
Not as good as Colin.
Okay.
Not as good as Colin.
Not win by 6. Got it.
We had so much fun, man. It was just playing with Lamb is great. We went out there the first day. We were one back after the first. They did a weird format this year. It wasn't matches. It was just you added your score up you played two 18-hole rounds and one 9-hole round, and you just added up the score, and whoever went. And it was handicapped. It was best ball the first day, a shamble the second day, where you both hit your tee shot, you pick the best one, and then it's the best ball from there. And then you play your own ball from there, obviously, and best score goes. And then 9 holes of just best ball. Dude, some of these scores, we talk about it all the time, how beautiful the handicap system is and all this. It's the second day in a shamble, okay? You both tee off, and Southern Highlands is not the hardest golf course in the world. Go out there, and it's Vegas. You're playing a little banged up. We shoot 11 under par, I believe, in a shamble. I mean, no, I made 7 birdies, played nice. I don't know if we beat anybody that day. I thought we played pretty good. These teams are coming in 16 under, 15 under, 15 under. I'm like, who are you people? What? I thought y'all worked for a living. It was just, you can basically predict who was going to win every flight from the start.
Yeah, it's important stuff at handicap management. I got a text from a buddy on the East Coast who just had their end of the year, like member or whatever the hell it was. He's like, dude, we played a match against, or member guest, I guess it was, played a match against the guy that came in from out of town as a 6, and he shot his first 18-hole, two 9-hole matches, 34-35 as a 6-piece. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, wow, one of those days for the guy, the old 1 in a million round out there. It's important. You got to cheat more if you want to win member guest, period. End of story.
It's funny because we'll just be sitting there afterwards, and they'll all come up and they'll see me, and I'll be like, how'd it go? And they have almost the embarrassing smile. They're like,
dude, you won't believe it.
Shot 14 under again, shot 16 under again. I mean, this one team was leading by 8 after 2 rounds in a member guest. I'm like, y'all are out of your mind right now.
It's crazy. And it's like successful guys with tons of money and stuff. I'm like, do you really need this thing in your office? Like, what are we doing here? Isn't your rep worth more than this friggin' trophy that no one cares about? What are you going to do, though?
You a belt. Yeah, I'll go buy you a belt and a pair of socks in the pro shop, dude. I mean, if you really want the pro shop credit that bad. But, dude, it was Vegas.
Yeah, who cares?
4 nights, 5 days of fun. Because Shadow Creek had theirs going on, the Summit had theirs going on, so a bunch of people were in town, and it's Vegas. Enough said. It's one of our favorite places in the world. But I do got to say, thanks to Ben Lamb for having us. We have so much fun, as always. But there is another massive thing that happened in the game of golf, and we got to get him as a guest soon. Harrison Frazier won on the PGA Tour Champions. Now, this is a guy that took me under his wing when I was a young fella back in Dallas, Texas. I love this man. He hasn't even been playing a whole lot of competitive golf lately. He's been an actual businessman. He won out there on the Champions Tour, and I'm so pumped for him. And he will be a hilarious guest on here.
Dude, let's get him on. All the Champions Tour guys, they get it. They're at the point in their careers where they just get it. They like to have a good time. Get him on. Let's have a couple pops and figure it all out.
All right. And then lastly, I am down here in Australia for the Asian Pacific Amateurs. My 3rd year doing it. Royal Melbourne this year. It's going to be a treat. It is chilly and windy today. But you know who I got my eye on this week? This tournament's incredible. Winner gets in the Masters and the Open Championship, but there's just one guy I got to go get an up-close and personal look on. That's your man, Samson.
Samsonite. I knew it started with an S. That dirty, filthy dog got it. He's the one. He was half of the Cal Bear University golf team that clipped us in the USGA 4-ball. I had no idea who the guy was leading this thing. All I knew is like they're not in NCAAs. How great can they be? Turns out the kid's first team All Pac-12, second team All-American, won tons of shit, and he's one of the betting favorites going into this thing. So go check on the kid. Last I remember, he hits it pretty straight, and he hits on the green, and then he either makes it or just barely misses most of the time. So check out my boy Samson. Shout out. I'm pulling for him. If we're going to lose, let's lose to the best dude in that thing.
All I know is that if I get his group, I mean, I'm not going to have to worry about doing any research. I got 4 hours of stuff to talk about. It's just you and Kittleson. It'll be great.
Dude, we were like, is this kid going to miss? Fuck. Miss a shot, Samson.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Always fun covering this event. And I can tell you what else is a lot of fun. Our newest Tito's Golf Club Subpar sponsorship. Sleaze, are you tired of being bad at golf?
Yeah, of course,
Are you tired of your friends being bad at golf? But they insist on going to the course with you anyway. Introducing the Tito's Golf Club Subpar sponsorship. Now Tito's Golf Club members can nominate the subpar golfer in their lives to be sponsored by Tito's to get cool gear and fresh fits. Yes, even if that golfer is you. Will it make your friend good at golfing? Nope. Will they look like they're good at golfing? And maybe by sheer osmosis start to be kind of okay at it? Sure. At the very least, you know they have good taste in vodka. Make bad golfing look good while bad golfers get better. Join and nominate at titosgolfclub.com. I've got about 200 new friends from Southern Highlands I could nominate for this Tito's Golf Club sponsorship. But make sure I know you like little Tito's. And once again, ladies, in case you're watching on video, mention 4 or 5 days of Vegas. Just look right over here. You see that bad boy? That's the Crown. Just a casino right out my back window.
Oh, good.
I need a little more.
Good,
yeah, perfect.
Dude.
What could go
perfect.
wrong?
Yeah, good. Glad that's so convenient for you. Just in case you think you forgot how to play blackjack up there. The same rules? Same rules, huh?
I think so.
They probably just do it backwards.
We'll find out.
Done.
Yeah,
Crush them.
All right, well, let's get to our guest this week. This man, he is one of the funniest dudes on the planet, loves golf, loves to toss some cards. If he was in Australia, he'd be at the Crown, no doubt about it. The man, you got to know him from The Office. Brian Baumgartner is on Golf Subpar.
All right, we are very excited to bring on our guest this week because most of you already love him. He's a well-known actor. You know him as Kevin Malone from The Office. He's also a diehard golfer, author of his own chili cookbook, likes to flip a few cards. He's just a really talented dude. We're thrilled to have him. Brian Baumgartner, how are you?
You know what? I'm really good. I get to hang out with you guys for a little bit, talk about golf. It's a good day. It's a great day.
It is a great day, and also 2 SMU Mustangs, 1 TCU Horned Frog. Obviously, couldn't get into SMU.
Hail to the red and the blue, the Mustangs of SMU. The Horned Frogs are awful. I mean, they are awful this year. Do we play? We usually play.
You guys, well, as at this moment, we are recording this. It's going to come out later, but the game is this Saturday.
We kicked your ass, didn't we?
How about that game? Can you believe it? That ending?
I can't believe that game.
I did not see it coming.
Killed you guys. Yeah.
Oh my God. I wouldn't have seen it from a mile away. Yeah. This is rarefied air when we got 2 ponies in the house. Do you follow the football program at all? You involved with the Stangs?
Yes. First off, yes. Until you guys cheated and stole our coach, we were right there. We're now coming back again. We're joining the ACC. You guys are going to be in this conference that's not even going to exist in a year, and it's all going to be roses.
You think you got enough money? Are the pockets deep enough to keep the ponies afloat while they don't get that TV money?
SMU?
Yeah. You got any cash down there?
They're not known for having cash lying around.
They just raised $100 million in 7 days. I'm not sure what took so long.
How much of that were you?
$100.
$100 of it?
Yeah.
Nice. There you go. Yeah, that's a long way. Yeah, you guys were NIL before there was NIL, dude. The whole country, all these kids that are making $5 million a year need to salute the ponies. That's the nicest thing I'll ever say about them.
On a serious note, how'd you end up at SMU? Like, what made you want to go there?
The theater program. The theater program at the time, and I'm saying this it's always weird to say this because it's like a brag thing, but it wasn't that, because it was why I went. I believed at the time, and I still believe it's true, it was the best theater training program. They call it a conservatory training program, right? In the country, of any university that was at a real university, meaning like liberal arts, large university college. So not like Carnegie Mellon or Juilliard, like a school that is specifically for the arts or theater. I wanted to go to a liberal arts college, a school that had a variety of other things to take advantage of. And SMU was the best. And that's why I ended up there.
Slee's also home of Don Cheadle.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Really? Right. Cheadle went to SMU?
Yeah, we got some actors, bud.
God, dude. Finally. Put something worth something out of that.
Actors and golfers.
Yeah, that's right. Actors and golfers. We talked about that earlier. Yeah. But my experience there was, in some ways, and this is going to sound silly. I mean, you talked before we started about being you were in the arts dorm there. As I try to explain to people, it's really not at SMU. in a conservatory training program, it's really not dissimilar from being there for athletics, because the amount of rehearsal, extra shows that you're doing, it's like you practicing, going to tournaments, traveling around. It just requires a whole additional amount of time that I enjoyed all the aspects of university life, but there was a lot of extra stuff that I had to do besides just being a student and going to class.
Well, that's awesome. It's great to have another pony on the show, but let's talk a little bit about your golf, because we talked about it on your show, Lake Tahoe. I mean, the ultimate, the main event of the year. How long have you been playing Lake Tahoe, and how much do you look forward to that each year?
This year was my 16th year.
Wow.
In a row playing.
That is awesome.
It is, I consider it one of the great privileges of my life. I love that week more than any other week of the year. The friendships that I have made by going there. And look, I'm a huge sports fan. I've always loved sports. And I'll tell you a quick story. I grew up in Atlanta and left Atlanta to go to SMU in the early 90s, which was right about the time that the Atlanta Braves became really good, with John Smoltz and Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. And now, most years, I play a practice round with Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux and John, these guys that I grew up watching and rooting for, and finally making baseball relevant in my hometown when I was a kid. It's just awesome. I love it. And it was fun having you guys there this year.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best week of the year. It's so fun. The encore stuff is sweet. The after the round stuff is sweet, which we'll get into a little bit later. But you're also a diehard Packer fan, and you've developed a nice relationship. He's no longer a Packer, of course, but Aaron Rodgers, that had to be another cool moment. I mean, the way that the circles collide that you never would think of otherwise.
Yeah. And AJ Hawk and Jordy Nelson played there for a few years. No, it's incredible. I mean, the relationships at some point I said, I knew, personally knew 21 out of the 32 quarterbacks that were starting in the National Football League, mostly through that and a few other things, but which is, it's just so fun for me. I feel super lucky, and to be able to play golf with so many of them it's awesome.
So are you still loyal to the Packers, or are you now a Jets guy because Aaron Rodgers is over there?
I am a Packers fan. I also was at the first Jets game on Monday night.
You got some love from Rodgers. He came running over.
It was very nice. Look, I any Packer fan that is not still rooting for Rodgers is an idiot. And I said it here. I mean, it makes no sense. Yeah. And he's a friend of mine. So of course I'm going to root for the Jets. I mean, why would I not root for the Jets?
Do you think you had anything to do with his Achilles? I mean, did you give him a little too much of a bro hug?
I can't even make jokes about it. I mean, I'm sure I'll get blamed somehow, but no, I mean, it was the worst. I have been lucky to go to a number of sporting events in my life: Super Bowls, World Series, NBA Finals games. I have never been in a stadium as electric as it was that Jets opening game against the Bills before the game. Never. A part of that is 9/11. Part of that is 55 years since their last championship. Part of that is 22 years to the day since 9/11. 12 years since their last playoff appearance, period. The longest in the league by a lot, by the way. And the emotion and the hope that people had, I truly, I will never forget it. And then you know, 10, 11 minutes later, it was done.
Silent.
It was
Crazy.
the quickest deflation of a stadium in the history of deflations. The lead up to that game, that season, the offseason, Hard Knocks, everything. And that moment, he runs out with the flag. I mean, the place was, but you could feel it on TV. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, done.
Maybe Tom Brady and the Patriots, they deflated a little quicker.
They did deflate. They're not. Yeah.
Wow, that's a horrible
see that?
joke.
See what we did there with the footballs?
Horrible joke. Don't laugh. The only one laughing is him at himself, by the way. God, that was awful.
Bum, serious question, because all right, you're a Georgia Bulldogs fan. You're a Packer fan. Then you like the LA Dodgers and I believe the Lakers as well. You've been all over the country. How do you select where your fandom goes?
I have very specific reasons. I have tough time. Like my childhood friends, like from Atlanta, they're like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Like, you left. I mean, for me, the Dodgers, which I talk about a lot, probably see most, more than any other team. I love baseball. I loved baseball growing up. And, when my age, there was TBS, Turner, that all the Braves games were on. So like when I was growing up, everyone could see just the Cubs on WGN and the Braves on TBS. And there was no MLB network. There was no streaming all your team's games. So as I left Atlanta and went to college, and then I started doing theater, so I was traveling around the country, I could still watch them and root for them, and Bobby Cox and Chipper Jones and like all the guys. I still felt really connected. Well, by the time they kind of faded off, they weren't on TBS anymore. I moved to Los Angeles, fell deeply in love with Southern California. I mean, you guys are golfers. I mean, you talk about the weather like it's a cliche, but it's really not a cliche. Like I can golf any day of the year. And I moved to Southern California and essentially I'm never leaving here. I'm never going anywhere else. And I love baseball. And the first summer that I was here, my tickets got better as the years went on, but I bought a partial season ticket package up in the upper deck at Dodger Stadium. Got season tickets that first year, and I just changed. I was just like, I want to watch baseball. I want to go to baseball games. What? I'm going to be in Atlanta maybe one game a year. I can't watch them. So I changed. And everything else is sort of natural. I went to SMU. I grew up in Atlanta, going to the University of Georgia football games every Saturday. And I'm friends of the Packers.
Yeah, I get it. How many Dodger games do you think you go to a year?
Well, I've moved a little further away now. It's tough. I mean, there was a period of time where there's 81 home games. I was going to over 40.
Oh, wow.
Damn,
you're all in.
That's real.
Yeah, I was going to over 40. Not anymore, but there was a time that I was, for sure.
Staying on Southern California, give me your top 2 favorite golf courses to play.
In Southern California?
Yeah.
Well, to me, I mean, I'm going to answer it by not really answering it, but to me, there is no question that in Los Angeles, Riviera is the best golf club. Best golf course. Best golf course in Los Angeles. I'm not a fan of LACC, but there's a number of reasons I'm not a fan of LACC. They don't like me, so I don't like them as part of it. And but I think Riviera is the best course in LA. In the North San Diego to San Diego area, the Bridges, Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club are spectacular. Back before I was playing a lot of golf here, I think Aviara is really great. They have an LPG event there, or they did. I think they just stopped. Torrey Pines is great if you can go play it when no one else is there, or you want to wake up and play at 6 a.m. I once walked off of Torrey Pines. you know the deal with Torrey Pines, right? If you live in San Diego, it's $45 or something like that to play, and if you don't, it's like 400, 350 or something like that.
Yeah, that's correct.
So you know, if you're a tourist and you're coming down, you want to play, you want to take your time. You paid all this money. Meanwhile, if you paid $40, it's like, I want to play in 4 hours. And it, you know, I walked off like hole 13 after 4.5 hours there. I was like, nothing is worth this. It's awful. Well, but Torrey Pines is pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's some good options down there. How much are you playing on a typical week? Standard week, you're not working, you're not doing anything. How many times are you out there?
I say I want to play twice a week. I almost never do. I did this week, but this is probably the first week since around Tahoe, which is late July, that I will play at least 2 times this week. I will play. Mostly it's one. You know, unless I'm playing an event, and then it's 6, you know, or whatever.
Do you go full grind mode before Tahoe?
I try. Yeah. Nothing's helped yet. I mean, if you have any advice for me, Colt, about Tahoe, I mean, I'll take it from anybody, even you. I'll take it.
I think you should relax.
I think you're doing Tahoe just right.
Yeah, drink a little more and play some more cards. I think you'll be fine. You'll play better.
Yeah, try to gamble a little bit.
No, I always try to do that.
What is grind mode, though? Are you a guy that takes lessons? Do you like to work like that and get better, or you just, I want to go play?
No, I want to play. I mean, I want to play. I mean, the thing is that it's not for me. Well, look, golf is not worth playing if you don't have money on the line. I mean that. So let me be clear about that. Like, if I'm playing, there is a wager of some kind, and if for some reason there's not, I'm not interested. And it doesn't have to be like huge money, but there has to be something that I'm playing for. Otherwise, it becomes, I think I'm not a great focused practicer. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, see, for me, the whole idea of like going out on a course and hitting multiple balls, like, oh, let me not if I'm straight practicing. Like, there's a short range now, you know, there's the driving range, and I'll hit ball after ball. But like, being out on the course, for me, I feel like the thing that's important is the mental aspect. And if there's nothing on the line and I hit a shot, then it just becomes that mental, like, oh, well, I wasn't really that doesn't count. Like, there's no consequence to it. So you drop another ball and hit it, another one, and you're not really focused. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, I have a difficult time when I'm like, oh, let me just try that shot again thing. That doesn't work for me. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's hard to care. It's hard to care if there's not something. Like you said, it doesn't have to be a ton of money, but it's got to be for something. What's your, like, you don't have to give denominations, but like your game, you go out with your boys. What's the game? You just play match play. You play some sort of exotic.
I mean, I can't. I'm not supposed to mention the show that anyone would expect me to mention right now. But like, I don't want to do a quote from it right now. But Wolf,
Bingo Bango Bongo.
Yeah, I can't say it.
I don't even know what that is, by the way.
Nassau, Wolf, Hammer. Whatever.
Anything with some little action, get the nerves going.
Yeah, I would say mostly it's a front back overall Nassau.
All right, some big news here from Subpar. We have officially launched our own YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe at golf_subpar on YouTube. Check out this week's video. Subscribe, do all the stuff. Colt, we got some cool behind the scenes stuff coming, and give you a little outside look at some of the stuff outside the studio. So please please subscribe. You're the best listeners in the game. We love you. Back to the show.
I was on your show earlier, the Off the Beat podcast, and we were talking about, you know, your love for the game of golf. You watch a lot of golf as well.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorites? You did mention the Seagull, Charlie Hoffman.
Yeah.
Several times when we did your podcast. Who are some of your favorites to follow?
Wow. Well, Charlie and I, we are in a group where we play golf together quite a bit. At least within the group, we play sometimes in the same foursome. But yeah, we have a Friday morning group. If I'm in town, it doesn't happen all that often, but if I'm in town, because I travel a lot, he travels a lot. But if we're in town, we'll play together. So obviously, I love watching him. I'm a big Justin Thomas fan as well. I really like that guy. I've gotten to know him a little bit, and we were talking a little bit earlier, is like that personal story and personal connection that, that now, either whether it's through the Full Swing show or, seeing you interview somebody and have somebody speak in a really frank and open way, and you feel like you get to know the person a little bit. I think that's what people tend to root for. And I think that's the same with me. I met Rory McIlroy. I actually interviewed Rory McIlroy years and years and years ago. I shot it was before Rory McIlroy became Rory McIlroy. He was the nicest kid, and had a really good time. And since then, I've rooted for him ever since.
Those are two good ones in Charlie.
Oh. One of these things is not like the
other. I told you there's no one whose nickname fits them better than the Seagull and Charlie Hoffman. That's just on the planet, not just in golf, on the planet. No one's nickname fits them better.
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's pretty special.
And he likes it. I mean, every time he sees me on the golf course, he gives it the wings. It's so good.
He's proud of it.
He is super proud of it.
He loves that reputation. Have you gotten to know, you've gotten to know all these other athletes? Aaron Rodgers, we went through the list of some of them. Any other golfers you've gotten to know on a personal level? You mentioned JT.
Phil. Played a little golf with Phil down in Southern California. He knows how to talk too, by the way.
Will he gamble, though?
Used to.
They used to.
Yeah, he used to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on from that subject.
He's a trash talker. He's a trash talker for sure. A lot of so I play in the Hilton Grand Vacations LPGA Tournament of Champions event down in Orlando. So I've gotten to know a lot of the ladies there on the tour, which, I mean, by the way, you want to see like a controlled, so many of the women, their controlled swing and their distance control in a lot of ways is better than men. I mean, it really is. I mean, their accuracy off the tee, obviously they're not hitting it as far. But I mean, the distance control that they show is so fun to play with.
You play the BMW on the Korn Ferry event sometimes.
I do.
Korn Ferry Tour
I have.
Too,
yeah, the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I really enjoy that too. The guys, I'm not going to say they're better. That's stupid, but it's like the same as playing with the PGA Tour players. I mean, it was like 2 years in a row was like Max Homa and then Harry Higgs. And it's like you see them play and you're like, man, they should be like on the PGA Tour. And then like 35 seconds later, they are like becoming stars on those tours. I really enjoy that. And part of it is a conversation, you and I were talking about earlier too, which is just they don't want to be there. So they are grinding and working really, really hard to make it to the next level. And you see that dedication and commitment. It's really fun to see.
And those guys have to shoot like 27 under at half of the golf courses because they're not the PGA Tour setup. So it's just like you have to go for broke out there and shoot 65 after 65 or lower to even try to have a chance. It's so deep and it's so good out there. Do you ever get out to the Korn Ferry event? Like everyone our age, a little younger and definitely older, know exactly who you are when you show up. Now you're getting these kids like they're 21, 22. Do they ever like, who's our celebrity?
The players? No, yeah. That's the thing is that, The Office, which I'm not supposed to talk about, but it just has a viewership that is never going away. It just repopulates. I mean, I've got 16, 17-year-olds, and now parents who are talking to me about their kids who are 16 or 17 years old and are just watching the show and in love with the show. And you know, a lot of times I'll say, like, what, they're like 16, right? It's become like required viewing for you know, early high school kids or something. It's like they can't get into a good social circle unless they can quote every episode or something.
It's like the one show I can think of, and tell me if you can think of another one. What's it been off the air? 10 years? It's still on every single day, but you've stopped recording for 10 years. Yeah. I think it might be as big or close to as big, if not bigger now than it was a decade ago. And I can't think of another show that I could say that about.
You're exactly right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it will never go away.
Yeah.
Office and Friends.
Friends is hanging. Friends is They're doing all right. Office, I mean, it's on. I put it on for dinner every single night because I got little kids and I can't put on a lot of the stuff, and like they're gonna know it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'll be around.
What I want to go back to like the beginning of that though. I mean, you go in for an audition for The Office, and like you play one of the most famous characters, Kevin Malone. Was the plan all along to bring that character, or was that your idea, or is that how they wanted it to be done?
My job as an actor is to create characters. So, you know, there's a blueprint, but if in any art form, it's got to be collaborative. So, you know, there's an idea of what the character is, and then if the actor is doing their job, you're gonna make something that's better than just one person can imagine.
Did you know any of the other cast members? Because the chemistry is part of what makes that show so great. It has an authentic feel to like a real life American office workplace. Did you know any of the other people going into that when you started recording?
I knew Rainn Wilson a little bit. I knew Rainn Wilson a little bit from theater, but I didn't know anybody else. No. Some of the improv people did, but I didn't.
When you first went in there and y'all got going season 1 and everything, did you ever imagine 201 episodes later this thing would still be rocking?
Never. No. But I was dumb. I was young. I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, so I said never, but like, could I ever have imagined that it would be this? No. But I think at the time, it's like, the cocky golfer who gets on the tour and thinks this is easy, you're just going to win. Like I thought, oh yeah, all you do is you get on a show and it's going to be a big hit, success. It's funny. What else could go wrong? I think now, looking back in retrospect, I mean, the fact that, how many things had to go right for it to actually get where it did is, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, if I would have been terrified at the time, had I known what a long shot it was.
Yeah, but it worked out. And I'll tell you, like, to this day, I go back on YouTube. I watch the bloopers all the time. Some of my favorite stuff was shooting it actually as fun as it looks like if you just watch the blooper reel.
Yeah,
was it actually that good of a working environment?
We had a great time together. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks... The bloopers are... Do you ever go back and watch those? I mean, you lived it, but do you ever just kind of nostalgia go back and check those out?
No, not in the midst of a writer strike or actor strike. I don't watch anything at all. No one should.
That's fair.
No one should watch it.
Fair enough.
No one should watch
Obviously,
it.
Don't watch it. Don't even turn your TV on.
Yeah. Perish the thought.
Other than The Office, give me your favorite job you've had.
And wow, that is, well, I would say just my favorite thing for me.
Something you were in, or anything you were a part of.
So I would say truthfully that the work that I've been able to do in sports has given me the most joy, which it all comes from the, what do you call it? The fruit of that. I mean, no one would have asked me to do it, but so, like being able to, not just be a guest, but host Good Morning Football on NFL Network a bunch, or, being able to chat with Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen you guys, of course, now that you finally invited me to be on your show. That stuff is really fun. I produced a series of specials for NBC Sports. This is a while ago now. That was actually about the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe, leading up to that, me preparing leading up to that event. That stuff has been so fun for me to do.
Yeah, you've done a lot of cool stuff, not just The Office, the sports stuff like you mentioned. You started in theater. Out of all the things you've done, is theater the toughest, given that it's live? There's no cuts. There's an audience out there. Is that the most difficult thing as an actor?
Yeah, there's very little. I mean, so look, right? It's like, it would be like saying to Colt or, Rory McIlroy, is that the hardest thing in the world? Like hitting those shots. I mean, it was a poorly executed joke, but you got it. Like hitting those shots that you can't hit. You would say, no, it's not hard. This is what you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like those kind of things, the fact that it's live, memorizing lines, what you're supposed to do, all that stuff is not. But as a life, it's incredibly difficult. I mean, it is, it's 8 shows a week, right? And you have Mondays off, which, by the way, no one has Mondays off. It's not like, let's go party on Monday night. Like, that doesn't happen ever. So you're doing 2 shows on either Wednesday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. It's just a really, really difficult life. It's so rewarding, because you're live in the moment experiencing something like I imagine it would be for an athlete that is, hits a shot or, makes a kick or whatever live in the moment with all these people watching. There's an energy that's created there. It's a similar thing in theater. Like, there's an energy that's created in the room that doesn't exist when you're filming things. But it's really difficult, the schedule alone. And, I don't know if you're aware of this. You don't make as much money doing theater as you do some of these other things either. So that's a component as well. Yeah.
Hard to believe. Yeah. Hard to believe.
I know you were on Celebrity Family Feud and your team won. I believe your Celebrity Jeopardy is coming out soon. Which one would you say you're more of a specialist in, Jeopardy or Family Feud?
Wow. I am so it's so funny. I don't even know how I would have answered that question, except in the last 24 hours from right now when we're speaking, I think I have gotten 5 messages. Clearly, the promos for Jeopardy are running currently on television. So I guess I can confirm that I appeared on Jeopardy. Yes, I can't say anything about what happened. It's already done. I just wanted to say,
would you say you're better? Are you? I mean, obviously you're really good at Family Feud because you won.
Well, I won Family Feud. Yes. Yeah. So but the whole thing we won, which was like a ton of money. Which, by the way, I will mention we gave to a local Scranton women's shelter charity there in Scranton. Sweet. At the time. It was $50,000. So that was incredibly. That was such a gift because we went and toured and saw the facilities and saw the work, the good work that they were doing. That this money could have helped them. That was incredibly moving. I did Jeopardy. I cannot. There's no way I'm getting in trouble with those guys. Yeah.
Nope. I was literally in South Carolina yesterday morning and turned on the TV and I see the promo for it and I'm like, oh my God, we're sitting down with him tomorrow. This is perfect.
When does this air?
I can't remember the date it said.
Do you know when it airs?
I have not seen it myself, but I know that they're out because again, I've gotten these. I just returned a message, someone asking me when is it on. I said I'm not sure. I check your local listings. Isn't that what you guys say in the business?
Yeah.
I will say this: Jeopardy is, and it's been a long time since Family Feud. So let me just say that. Both were incredibly fun. Jeopardy, as I guess you would expect, the tone of Jeopardy is very different than Family Feud. Like, we were given a speech. Am I allowed to say? I don't even know, but this doesn't seem to be bad. Before the game, from someone who was there, whose job was essentially to make sure that the game was run correctly and that it was a federal law to essentially cheat on a game show. This was like moments before airing. We were all told this. And the timing, how many seconds you have, the buzzer, phrasing it in the form of a question, these are like all serious like rules. Family Feud, you're making like sex jokes a lot, right? Like they're all like, what's the I guess that was the Newlywed Game, the famous one, but you know what I mean? Like they're saying like, what's the most attractive part of your 100 people surveyed, what was the most attractive body part of your spouse? And they're wanting you to say like ass or some other word.
My favorite one was when Steve Harvey said, give me a popular male's name that starts with the letter H, and the guy goes, bam, Jose. And he was so confident.
Well,
but that's what makes that show fun.
This was the Newlywed Game because it was Bob Eubanks, but you know that one. I
don't think I do.
What's the most adventurous place that you've ever made love? Well, that would have to be in the butt, Bob.
That's good. That's what makes it good.
That's
in Celebrity Jeopardy.
But
in Celebrity Jeopardy, do they ever tell you like mess up on purpose because it's celebrity? It's supposed to be fun. Do they ever like, hey, try to slip up and say some dumb shit just for fun?
No. It's no. Now the show is longer. There's more game, but there's also more time for there is more time for banter. But when the game is going, it's what I imagine it to be very much like real Jeopardy. I don't know if you say that, but that like regular. Yeah, no, you're playing the game and the questions are serious and yeah.
Okay, well, I can't wait to watch it. So stay tuned for that.
Hyped.
Check your local listings. Let's get to the E9 before we get out of here. All right, Brian, we asked this to everyone. You can be somebody else for a day. Anyone over the history of time, who would it be?
I could be anyone else for a day. Who would it be? Just for one day?
Just one day you get to walk in their shoes.
Michael Jordan.
Love it. Popular answer.
I figured.
Not a bad one.
I was thinking about somebody else. I was thinking about saying something else because I figured that's a popular answer. But, I have played quite a bit of golf with him as well. And who's more famous on the planet?
Hard to say.
Probably not. It's
hard to say.
Yeah,
just by name recognition.
And everyone's just obsessed with him. He's
up there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing y'all have had some battles out at Shadow Creek.
That's great.
Do you clip him?
You ever
clip him?
That's the best place.
Is there seriously though? People ask me that. Sorry, I want you to answer the clip song or clip question, but people ask like last round of golf in your life. I tell people Shadow Creek, like it is that good of an experience.
You know what? You didn't ask me that. That's why when you asked me and I said California, and actually I think I answered Southern California because I love Pebble and some of those courses up there in Monterey, but it's my one. Shadow Creek.
Wow. Love that.
Because it's the full package. It's always in tremendous shape. To me, what's a great golf course? For me, what's a great golf course is every hole is different. provides the potential to hit different kinds of shots with different obstacles in the way. The greens are lightning fast all of the time, and it's beautiful. And the hang, how they treat people who show up there is it's unlike anything in the world.
And the Rondarita.
Rondarita, which, again, I don't know why this is going to be like the top story, like getting mad at them, but so it's the totally opposite of LACC.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I agree with you.
Then there's a lot of places like that too, where the golf course is spectacular, the hang is a 0. Shadow's like maybe the pinnacle of elite golf course, elite hang also.
Yeah,
you can do both.
When people ask, it's funny because I get shy about this when people say, like, what's the best golf course you've ever played? I had the opportunity really early on, and no jokes, please, from either of you. I was much worse then when I got an invite to Pine Valley, and I played Pine Valley when I was worse, and I did the afternoon, spent the night, and then morning thing there, and it rained both, so I wasn't as good, and it rained and walking, and I was as the hang, the experience of staying there and all that was awesome. As from a golf experience for me, it was like I was miserable. I was wet and terrible and shame spiraling and like, why am I here? Is this embarrassing? And anyway, so that's part of it for that.
And there's no blackjack table at Pine Valley.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive to Atlantic City. Atlantic City's a haul.
It's a bit of a drive. Yeah, I don't really go to Atlantic City. I don't go to Atlantic City.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I've never been.
Why would you? You're closer to a slight upgrade, I would say, from Atlantic City. But that's a good segue into my next question, because you obviously like to fire a little bit. You love your golf. What fills your heart with more pure joy? A hot streak on the golf course or a hot streak on the blackjack table?
Your heart. Remember that. Not your wallet. Your heart.
Just pure joy.
Oh. Well, I've had many more hot streaks at a blackjack table than I have on a golf course. So I will say that. And it's really fun. No, look, if I went out, for example, so one round, I'm like speaking in circles, but at one in Tahoe, a tournament round, you can look it up. I started on the back and I shot 36 on the back. One birdie, one bogey. And if I had shot a 72, that would have brought me more joy. Yeah, pure joy. Yeah.
Yeah, golf.
Yeah, like a PR in golf. Personal record in golf versus just catching a cold dealer just busting everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hot blackjack table's tough to beat.
My next one, I want to stay on the blackjack subject. Okay, we're at Tahoe, American Century Championship. You get a table. You can pick 3 other contestants in the golf tournament to be at that blackjack table because of fun, drinks, just the atmosphere. Who are the other 3 people you're allowed to sit at your table?
2 are immediate, but I don't want to say 2 and then think. So give me 1 second for the third. So I would say they're playing. Yeah, I would say it would be Aaron Rodgers, it would be Mike Vrabel, and it would be Mike Madonna.
Oh, bringing Mo in.
Mo getting in the mix.
Yeah.
Mo would be surrendering. He's soft.
Mr. Positivity. The old ray of sunshine, Mike Madonna.
Yeah, but you know what? So the reason I said him is he listens. So I try to listen to him on the golf course. He listens to me on the blackjack table, and he's so sure he's going to lose. That when he wins, that joy that he has, he might say a blackjack table would bring him more joy than the golf course, because the smile he gets and the joy that he has makes it really fun. That's why I said
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned he is the most negative good golfer in the world.
Well, that's true.
On the planet.
And you also mentioned Mike Vrabel. I met him with you there this year for the first time. The first night I got there. That guy is a 14 on a scale of 1 to 10. I love him.
I mean, as long as you give me a 15, I'll agree with you. He is awesome. I mean, well, let me put it this way. Except in very few exceptions. I mean, this is, you asked me about sports teams. I'm a Titans fan now. Like,
it's fair.
Very few exceptions. Other relationships or long-term relationships I have or whatever, the Packers, blah, blah, blah. But like, I mean, I love the guy. I love the guy. And now I'm like, every week I'm like watching the Titans game because of him.
That's great.
Yeah, he's just a dude. I'll give you some more sports questions here in a minute. I'll give you one TV one. You starred in one of the biggest shows ever, but if you could pick a character to play in any other show in the history of television, what character would you like to play?
Well, if you take away the fact that he was a genius and no one could have done it better, Tony Soprano in The Sopranos.
Ooh,
good one.
Ooh, very good. Very good answer. I actually think, that would be, you could have been cast for that. He did do an unbelievable job.
All right, next one from me. Which PGA Tour player is most likely to use one of Kevin's famous phrases? I got 6 numbers. One more would have been a complete phone number. So basically, who out of the PGA Tour players do you think has 0 game?
I got one.
Oh. That's not what I thought you were saying, and I almost answered the other way. Oh my God. I thought you were talking about intelligence, and I was about to answer another way. Thank God you interrupted me, because I was about
you could take it that way if you want.
Well, now I can't. Who has 0 game? I mean, you'll tell me if I'm right or wrong. Who has 0 game? Well, I mean, I mean, a lot of guys are married and not trying anymore. So that, I mean, does that mean they have game or they don't have game? I don't.
Well, if they weren't married, it'd be Charlie.
Yeah, dude. Historically,
no doubt.
Yeah, it'd be Charlie.
Pre-marriage.
It would be Charlie. Yeah. I don't know. There's so many. I mean, I was gonna say Spieth only just because he's like so nice. He's just like so nice that's fair. That's a fair answer.
There's no wrong answer. I just
but he's happily married and clearly he has game. And I don't know. I don't know. That's
fair.
Terrible
tough
question.
One.
Yeah.
A couple of terrible questions. I wanted to hear where he was going when he thought it was just who's dumb.
We'll do that off air.
Yeah, I got an answer for that. All right. Here's a broad sports question. Like I said, you like the Lakers, Dodgers, Packers, Georgia Bulldogs. If you could only experience one title for the rest of your life from one of these teams, who do you want to win it?
Wow, man, that is really, if I could only experience one for the rest of my life of my favorite teams, I guess the Dodgers.
I figured that.
Yeah, I figured it couldn't be the Bulldogs because they're
just going to.
It's already happened.
It doesn't even matter. I don't have to will that.
Yeah, and you've already experienced it.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
Dodgers are pretty damn good too, guys.
They're not terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. You don't care how you play. You have a bad week at Tahoe at the celebrity event, but you don't care because you beat so-and-so. Who's the one person you got to beat each year?
Well, I mean, for years it was Charles. For years it was Charles, because it was just like and when I started, he and I were not very far apart. But he was hitting the ball so much better. I can't even. And we played together on Sunday this year, and he was 2 under through the first 3 holes. And I went, oh, I'm going to lose to him. It's like this is like, he was just on fire. And I mean, like, just nothing lucky, just great shots. He almost truly aced the par 3 12th where they were giving away the boat. I mean, it trickled so slow past the hole. We all thought it was in, and it's somehow stopped within like 3 inches. That's kind of an easy answer, though. I mean, I love him so much that if he were to go out and, like, whatever happens, he turns it around and is like, gets back to a 4 or 5 and like makes a run at the thing somehow, there would be nobody rooting for him more than me. I really love the guy. So it's like, it's not like there's a rivalry there. It was more like, I want to play well. I don't, I want to, but he's playing well. I did not want to lose to him this year. And he was beginning to chirp at me as we were playing on the last day. I think he thought he was going to catch me. So that did get the juices flowing.
He's gotten so much better. It just hasn't quite carried over to Tahoe yet. But it's baby steps first. It wasn't long ago where he was playing from the other side of the ball. So it's like,
that's right.
You got to crawl before you can walk.
That's right.
This kind of stays on the same theme here, but I'm going to stick with a little bit of the gambling. All right, you're in Tahoe, and you're going to play a practice round. Who's the one guy you want to be paired with if you're attempting to make it the most profitable practice round possible? The easiest money, basically.
Oh, I know the answer to that.
The easiest money?
Yeah.
Like,
isn't that wrestler, The Miz or whatever? He's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, The Miz?
Yeah, I thought you meant who would bet me a lot.
That could be that too.
Yeah, I mean, Rogers and I get good bets going, but like this year was really not profitable. I did not play well this year, so it was really not profitable for me at all this year. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the Miz has struggles there,
but the people love that guy.
He's a man of the people.
He is.
He's into that golf too.
Yeah.
All right, last one for me. What's it going to take for you to try Aaron Rodgers' new healing method of listening to dolphins love making to make your body feel better?
Love making.
Well
said.
Yeah. Have you heard this?
What is this?
So he claims listening to dolphins make love or have sex, the noise of them is actually therapeutic to the body.
Heals the body to hear dolphins.
So that's
banging.
why he thinks his Achilles will be ready by January. Because of dolphins.
I don't know about that, but it does turn me on.
Okay, perfect.
As it should. As it should.
It did make your body feel better.
Yeah.
It takes all the blood away from my injury. I don't know how this could possibly work.
I love him, but he is so weird. It's great.
I think he truly believes it, though, which makes it cool.
Yeah.
I think he honestly is like, yeah, dude, you listen to dolphins humping, you get healed faster.
Whatever works.
Yeah, whatever works is right. Bummy, we can't thank you enough, man. You're a legend. We love talking to you. Keep improving that golf game, and we'll have to get out and peg it sometime.
Yeah, I'm going to try. That's the thing is I will not quit trying. Although that is my new thing, which it usually works. I've got 2 on the golf course. The first is I got a 3-footer. Right. So as I'm standing over the ball, I will say to my playing opponent, who is making me putt the 3-footer, do you know what we're doing? And they'll say, what? I'll knock it in and say, wasting time. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. But as I have not been playing well recently, I have a new thing. It usually works, but not always. Would be something like I'm putting from off the green. Okay. On a par 4 and I'm lying 2. And I'm putting from off the green and I'm not playing well. I might say something like this. If I don't par this hole, I'm quitting golf forever. And then usually it motivates me to work.
Hey, whatever
and
works.
They tell you to pick up the 3-footer after that because they don't want you to quit. It's a little mind fuck the other way. Like, you don't want to be responsible for me quitting the game I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the game of golf would suck without you. We never quit, please.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do love it. I hope you guys are back in my beloved adopted wannabe hometown of Lake Tahoe next July. But until then,
I hope be there.
God willing.
I hope we see each other before then.
For sure. And make sure everybody goes checks out the Off the Beat podcast with our man Brian Baumgartner. Brian, thank you so much, my man.
Thank you.
All right, that was the beautiful Brian Baumgartner joining us on Subpar. Sleaze, I love this man. I got a chance to meet him a few years ago, play some golf with him. He's hilarious. I mean, he gets recognized everywhere he goes for one show specifically.
Hard to miss. And by the way, for the first time you talk to him, it's the biggest mind trip in the world because like all you've ever seen him be is Kevin Malone basically, and then you talk to him and like he's articulate, he's smart, and you're like, oh my god, like he's the most polar opposite from Kevin Malone you could possibly be. Like we just had Joey Ferrara on, right, who's Turtle. You talk to Joey and it's like, dude, it sounds like Turtle.
Jerry.
Jerry. He sounds like Turtle. He kind of acts like Turtle, like shoot all that, loves all the New York teams, like it's kind of the same guy. Then you talk to Brian and you're like, oh my god, like it is far from Kevin Malone, but he's awesome, and that show will live on forever.
Well, he's an SMU Mustang, Sleaze. Of course he's intelligent.
Yeah, he breaks the mold there. They slipped one in. They slipped one in there.
That was fun sitting down with him. Speaking of intelligent, let's make some intelligent gambling plays right now, because as usual, that's what we do. Listen, eventually this team's going to come through for me. I think it's about 1-6 on the year they've covered. So just betting on, eventually it's got to go their way. And they're the number 1 team in the country. Give me Georgia minus 14.5 over the Gators.
I don't think you've taken a line under like 14 yet this year. Like USC minus 31, bet. Michigan minus 400, bet.
I took Penn State last week as an underdog, and look what happened. I lost.
Yeah, good point. Stick with the faves. And, shame on me. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm taking Ohio State minus 14.5 over Wisconsin. They had that close one with Penn State this past week. I've seen Wisconsin play this year a good bit. They just have virtually no firepower, it feels like. If Ohio State gets rolling on offense, I don't think Wisconsin can keep up. So just got to avoid a little snoozer game after the Penn State game from Ohio State and get paid. That's the plan.
And if you lose, throw another shrimp on the bobby and go at it again.
Yes, throw that out to the locals and see if they think you're one of them.
Yeah,
dude.
Like that.
They'll be like, oh my god, dude, a local, perfect. They'll ask you for directions and shit, probably.
All right. Well, I got to get out of here. I'll see you when I get back to America. Thanks for everybody for listening. We'll talk to you on the next Subpar.